Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Richards. I'm the founder of a company called Storymix, and Storymix is an IP development company, and that's just a fancy way really of saying that we're a packager of children's fictions for publishers. But I have a specific focus on creating books that are representative of our society and making sure that children of colour get to see themselves in kids' books. So what I do is I come up with a high concept idea. So let's say boy finds out he's a wizard and goes to wizard school, which might sound a bit familiar. So obviously my ideas are a lot more innovative than that. I come up with the idea, I write the storyline, and then I work with a writer, an up-and-coming writer of colour, to sort of put flesh on the bones. We write the first 3 chapters, a chapter breakdown, and then we pitch that to publishers. And hopefully off the back of that, we get a commission and the whole book gets written and the book goes to print. So that's what I do. In terms of when I first started to work with Krystle, I've been going for a little under a year. Now, I did something that you definitely shouldn't do. I just jumped into running a business without having a business plan. So that's a big no-no. But I've been going for a year, spent a lot of time sort of developing ideas, and was coming to the point where I needed to start pitching some of the things that I'd been creating. And I was really conscious that I had no idea what success looked like. I had no idea how many projects I needed to sell every year for this business to be financially viable, how much I could pay to authors to sample, like some really questions I couldn't answer because I didn't have a handle on the numbers. And I also knew I wanted to come up with a 3-year strategy, but I couldn't really do that without understanding the numbers. So that's why I reached out for help, and Krystle's been fantastic in terms of helping me understand what success looks like and what kind of things I need to put in place. The whole day we spent together going through the finances and looking at the sort of business model. So much of that was useful, but perhaps the most useful thing was the forecasting. So looking at year 1, year 2, and year 3, and at how many projects I needed to be selling. Was really key. And I think the other key thing was just understanding about cash flow. So I've been spending a lot of time and money in terms of my development work, and that's fantastic, but I can only do a limited amount of that without getting sales in the bag. So so for me, it was learning that, okay, I have all of these fantastic ideas, and I'll get to make those ideas, but I've got to make sure I'm selling through if this business is going to be here in 5 years' time. So that was really key. And the forecasting is like a snapshot of all of that in one place that I can go back to again and again. Of how I feel about the business, I feel a lot more confident that this idea has got legs. I can see through doing the forecast that the money will come. Because I'm confident in the ideas and I'm confident in the business need. So it was just about working out when I will actually get paid for creating the content, this desperately needed content. So once I could see that all in one place, I'm like, actually, hang in there, keep on creating great ideas, keep on finding writers, who want to break through, and the money will come. But just understanding that's not going to be in the first 6 months. There's going to be a period where I am spending money and not making any yet. So overall, it made me a lot more confident in the proposition. In terms of what I found most surprising about the experience of working with Krystle and going through my business and the business model and the forecasting, is that there are some types of books and some age categories that make a lot more sense for me to be focusing on. So the business absolutely is about creating content for all children, and that means different age ranges, but there's actually a couple of sweet spots in terms of where I'm fulfilling the sort of social purpose of my business, but also I'm more likely to get a financial return. So that was really helpful to think, okay, this age category, certainly at the beginning of my business, I should be spending a bit more of my time and a bit more of my focus creating content for this age range versus another age range. especially if they're like me, which is they're kind of head in the clouds, always thinking of ideas, creative ideas. So my background is, you know, I'm a children's author, did an English degree, pretty good with words. When it comes to numbers, I'm kind of a bit scared. I get nervous. I'm not very confident, but I'm running a business. So being creative is fantastic. You've also got to get a handle on the numbers. So I think the thing I'm learning as I'm going along this business journey is if you don't have the skill set, if you are not strong enough in a certain area, you can't put your head in the sand about that. Get the expertise in, because that is what's going to make sure you're successful in the future. Like, no business has ever succeeded with someone not having a handle on the numbers. So I would say get the help you need in any of those areas where you are struggling with, especially if it's to do with financials.